So hello guys and welcome back to the channel, and I am your host Perky Percival. So in this video I am going to show you my V series deck profile for Ice Prison Necromancer Cocytus of the Granblue clan. So without further delay, let's get into the deck profile. For that, if you haven't watched my previous videos, I have uploaded a lot of V series deck profile. So if you want to watch it, I'll ping that in the I button so you can go there and check them out. Starting off with our boss grade 3 unit is 4 copies of Ice Prison Necromancer Cocytus. So its skill continues on Vanguard circle during your turn. If your drop zone has 10 or more cards, this unit gets power plus 10,000, and if it has 20 or more cards, it gets power plus 20,000 and critical plus 1 instead of plus 10k. And its second skill, act on Vanguard circle once per turn, cost counterblast 1 and put 4 cards from your top of your deck into your drop zone and call up to the number of grade 3 cards in your soul plus 2 cards from your drop zone to the guard circle. That is, if there is one grade 3, call up to 3 cards. So basically it gains a huge power bonus and a critical extra if your drop zone has 10 or more cards, or even if it has 20 or more cards. And its act skill is on counterblasting 1, you have to put 4 cards from the top of your deck into your drop zone, and you have to call the number of grade 3 cards in your soul plus 2 in your drop zone to your rear guard circle. So if your soul has 2 grade 3s, then you will have to call 2 plus 2, that is 4 rear guards from the drop zone. So the first skill gives us a power bonus, and the second skill gives us rechanging or rearranging our board. So our next grade 3 are 2 copies of Dragon Undead Skull Dragon. So its skill continuous in hand. This card cannot be normal called, so you cannot call it to your rear guard circle. And second skill, continuous on Vanguard or rearguard circle during your turn. This unit gets power plus 2000 for each card in your drop zone. So that's a very good skill, because suppose you have 15 cards in your drop zone, then it will get a boost of 30,000 power on its base 12,000 power. So that's become a huge attacker. And its third skill, auto on rearguard circle, at the end of the battle that it attacked, retire this unit. So after attacking, at the end of that battle, you have to retire this card, but obviously it goes to the drop zone. So with skill of other cards, Cocytus, you can again bring back to the rearguard circle and attack with it once more. So it can like go in a loop. So the next grade 3 is 1 copy of King of Demonic Seas Basskirk. So I'm running this card just to be sure that I can ride a grade 3 as soon as possible. And it's quite a very old card, because in the original series it was very powerful, but in the V series like it's like average. So its skill continues on Vanguard circle during your turn. If your drop zone has 10 or more cards, this unit gets power plus 5000 and critical plus 1. So for 10 cards in the drop zone, it will only get power plus 5000 and critical plus 1. But its second skill I think is very good. So its skill, act on Vanguard circle once per turn, cost count blast 1 and soul blast 1. Call a card from your drop zone to rearguard circle, and this unit gets power plus 5000 until end of that turn for each grade of that unit. So with the skill of Cocytus or any card, or even if Basskirk calls a card from your drop zone, so suppose if you call a grade 3, that is Skull Dragon, then you will get 15,000 on top of the 12,000. So the second skill quite compensates for the card. Now for the last grade 2s, I am running 2 copies of Master Swordsman Nightstorm. So actually I was running 2 copies of Violence Flanger, but due to the ban list I have to replace the Violence Flanger. So I'm currently running Nightstorm, and it's quite generic for this deck because its skill, auto on Vanguard or rearguard circle when placed, cost put 2 cards from the top of your deck into your drop zone. So again increasing your drop zone because you are increasing your second hand, and this unit gets power plus 5000 until end of that turn. That's okay, it is quite acceptable. So its second skill, auto on Vanguard or rearguard circle, when it attacks a Vanguard, if your drop zone has 10 or more cards, cost count plus 1 and draw a card. So you can also get an extra draw. Now starting off with our grade 2s, I am running 4 copies of Greed Shade, and according to me, Greed Shade is the most required card for any Granblue deck because of its skill. So its first skill, continuous on Vanguard or rearguard circle during your turn. If your drop zone has 10 or more cards, this unit gets power plus 5000. That's the generic skill that we already saw. But its second skill is the main skill, as auto on rearguard circle when placed, cost discard a card from your hand, again increasing your drop zone. Put 2 cards on the top of your deck into your drop zone, again increasing the drop zone, and return a card not named Greed Shade from your drop zone to your hand. So you can have
any card that you want from your drop zone. You can have another Cocytus, you can have Basskirk, you can have Skull Dragon. So you can call any card that you like. So it can like go on for a loop on each and every turn. And if you call two grid set, then you can have the same skill twice in a single turn. So this card I think is very important for any Granblue deck. So the next grade 2s are 3 copies of Captain Nightmist. So its skill auto on rearguard circle when placed cost +1 and call a grade 1 or less card from your drop zone to your rearguard circle, and if your drop zone has 10 or more cards you may call regardless of the grade. So for +1 you can call any grade 1 or grade 0 from your drop zone to your rearguard circle, so you can have a booster in the back row. But if your drop zone has 10 or more cards, then you can call any grade that you want. You can call a grade 3 in your front row or grade 2 in your front row, or even if you call a grade 1 in the back row, then it will give obviously the boost to the front unit. So I'm ending off the grade 2s with 3 copies of Stormride Ghost Ship. So its skill continuous in hand. This card cannot be normal called, and it cannot be called to the guardian circle either. So that's basically the same type of skill that Skull Dragon have. And its second skill auto on rearguard circle when it attacks, this unit gets power plus 15,000 until end of that battle, and at the end of that battle draw a card and retire this unit. So it cannot be normal called, so it will have to be called from the drop zone with the skill of other cards, and when this unit attacks it will have 15k power extra, and after attacking at the end of the battle that it attacked, you have to draw a card and retire this unit. So it obviously goes to the drop zone, and with the skill of Greed Seed or Cocytus you can again call this card and attack with it, and it will again go to the drop zone. So this card also comes like in a loop of attacks. The grade 1s that are starting my list are 4 copies of Dandy Guy Romario. So Dandy Guy Romario is as old as the V series, because this card was from the start of the V series. So its skill continues on rearguard circle. If your drop zone has 10 or more cards, this unit gets power plus 4,000. So it will help in the boosting. And its second skill auto when it's rolled upon, cost +1 and put a card from your hand into your soul. Put 3 cards from the top of your deck into your drop zone and return 1 card from your drop zone to your hand. So again deck milling, and you can have a card in your hand of your choice. So the basic requirement is you have to ride a grade 2 on this card. So you have to ride this card grade 1 as your Vanguard and +1 and put a card from your hand into your soul. Then you have to put 3 cards from the top of your deck into your drop zone, and then you can have any card from your drop zone to your hand. Our next grade 1 are 2 copies of Witch Doctor of Powdered Bone Negrabone. Its skill activates in the drop zone. So its skill act on drop zone, cost discard a card from your hand and put this card on the bottom of your deck and call a grade 1 from your drop zone to your rearguard circle. And if your drop zone has 10 or more cards, you may call any grade instead. As I already told that Granblue have a second hand, which is obviously considered as the drop zone, or you can say vice versa. So its skill activates in the drop zone. So you have to just discard a card from your hand and put this card on the bottom of your deck. So again deck milling, and you can get this card back into your deck, and you can call a grade 1 from your drop zone. But if your drop zone has 10 or more cards, again you can call any grade that you want. So for next grade 1s we are having 4 copies of Ripple Banshee. So its skill auto on rearguard circle when placed from drop zone, cost Soul Blast 1, draw a card, and this unit gets power plus 4,000 until end of that turn. So the condition when placed from drop zone can be easily achieved, because this deck obviously calls everything from the drop zone. So you just have to Soul Blast 1 and draw a card, again draw an extra card in your hand, and 4,000 power to the unit. Next are 2 copies of Troubadour Cadaver Alfio. So its skill auto on rearguard circle when placed from hand. If you have 10 or more cards in your drop zone, cost discard a card from your hand and countercharge 1 or soul charge 1. So this sole reason for running this card is I need to soul charge or counter charge, because I have to use the soul blasting or counter blasting for calling the any unit from the drop zone again and again. So when it is placed from hand, if your drop zone have 10 or more cards, then just discard a card from your hand, increasing your drop zone, increasing your second hand, and you can counter charge 1 or soul charge 1. And for the last grade 1s, I am running 2 copies of Dolph the Ghostie, which is the Sentinel grade 1 for the deck. So its skill is known to everyone as auto on guardian circle when placed, cost discard a card from a hand, and one of your units attack cannot be hit until end of that battle. So it is known to everyone. And its second skill if you need to write this card as there are no other options, then auto on Vanguard circle. When placed, draw a card and discard a card from your hand. Now for the starter, we are having one copy of Undying Departed Grenache, and Grenache has the same skill that every starter have. Auto, when rolled upon, draw a card. Then if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 1 or greater, put a quick seal ticket into your hand. Now for the trigger lineups, I am having 10 copies of critical triggers, 2 draw TGs and 4 heal triggers. So basically this deck is force, so there's a huge power gain, and the skill of the cards also gives huge power gain, so it is better to run as much critical triggers as possible. So I'm having 10 critical triggers, and because of 2 grade 1 sentinels I'm running 2 draw PGs. So because like in this type of deck we don't need to draw that much, like because the skills are already helping us to draw cards from the deck, so we don't need any extra draw triggers, and obviously 4 heal triggers is necessary for any deck. So hold on now, like anyone can ask like where are your strategies which you have shared with us in the previous videos, like that one. So I have not discussed any strategies for this deck because as you have seen the skills already synergizes with each other very well, and it's not with any particular card like this card interacts with this. The whole deck interacts with each other very well, so I don't think I need to share any combos or strategies that can help. The deck will play wonderful combos on itself. So with this we come to the end of our deck profile for today, and I hope you guys liked it, and if you liked it feel free to give a thumbs up and tell me your thoughts in the comment section. Even if you want to see any deck profile of your choice, you can obviously mention it in the comment section. If you want to see more this kind of videos or you like my videos, you can always subscribe to the channel, and I hope you are doing well. And for the next time, Perky Percival signs off.